Good morning, 5th primary students. Welcome back to the second video of chapter 1 in the story Oliver Twist. And in this video, we're going to tackle the indicative answers for the questions in the booklet. So let's start. Page 2 in the story booklet, question C says, complete the description of the characters with the suitable words. Number 1, Agnes. Agnes was a young woman who was pregnant and very tired. She fell down in the streets. No one knew who she was or where she came from, so the people took her to the workhouse, where she gave birth to a baby boy. She gave her golden chain, which had a locket with the name Agnes on it, to Sally and asked her to keep it safe for her child. She named the baby Oliver and kissed her child and passed away. That's the first question. Number 2 says Sally. Sally was an old woman who lived in the workhouse for 50 years. She had 13 children and has often helped the doctor when a child was born in the workhouse. Agnes gave Sally her golden chain with a special locket to keep these things for her child, but Sally decided to sell them and take the money for herself. Number 3, Mrs. Mann. And Mrs. Mann was an old woman whose job was to look after the children for their first 9 years in another house, not the workhouse. In return, she received money to pay for their food. She kept most of the money for herself and didn't take good care of the babies and children. Oliver never heard a kind word from her, and he never had enough food. Number 4, Mr. Bumble. On Oliver's 9th birthday, Mr. Bumble, a big fat man who wore a uniform and carried a big stick, came to take him to the men's workhouse. Mr. Bumble helped to manage the workhouse. He had a bad temper and he was very strict. If anyone in the workhouse did anything wrong, Mr. Bumble hit them with his stick. Everyone in the workhouse was afraid of him, especially the children. One of his jobs was to give surnames to the babies who had no father. He gave Oliver the surname Twist. That's the end of question C. Let's move on to the next one. Now to exercise D that says answer the following questions in full answers. Number 1, it says take these excuse me. Take these things, please. Keep them safe for my child. I'm very sick. I don't think I'll live to see the baby. And comment. And as you remember, we say who said these words, to whom, when, where, and why, and what does it show about the characters. So, number 1 says number 1's answer says, Agnes, or the pregnant lady, said these words to old Sally at the workhouse while Agnes was gasping for her last breath and giving birth to baby Oliver. Agnes gave Sally a gold chain and a locket that contained a wedding ring and 2 locks of hair. This shows how Agnes cared deeply about her son and how responsible she had felt for giving Oliver some information about his family and showing him how much they had cared about him. Question number 2 says, who gave Oliver the name Oliver and who gave him his surname Twist? So the answer says, Oliver was given his name by his mother right before she died, but the surname Twist was given to him by Mr. Bumble on his 9th birthday, right before taking him to the workhouse. Let's move on. Question number 3 says, what did Sally find inside the locket? What did she decide to do with these things? So the answer says, old Sally found 2 locks of hair and a wedding ring inside the locket. One lock of hair was fair like the mother's, and the other one was dark. Old Sally decided to keep the things for herself and sell them for money instead of keeping them safe for Oliver. That was immoral, but understandable because she'd lived in the workhouse for 50 years and her life was hard, especially with 13 children to look after. That is the end of our video. Thank you for listening, watching, and paying attention. Goodbye.